Hombre que en el 2015 nos hizo soñar con esa bot lane. Y ese hombre es... ¡Mithy!
And on the red side, it's the deadliest Void Reaver in the tournament, racking up 25 kills in assassin mode last week. Put your hands together for Mithy's opponent. It's Levi!
I'm feeling so beta right now.
Why?
All these like alpha males shouting, Levi.
Yeah, you and me and our girly voices, Mitch. Sadly not suited for the hype, but we can talk about the 1v1s.
Yep.
And we know, obviously, Mithy very well. He's a player who, after the EU vs NA first game, I saw him backstage, and I tried to explain to him that when there's this little effect around the ball from Orianna, it's a shockwave and you can flash it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear that. Like, he was actually pretty down after that game. He was like, yeah, we couldn't do anything, you know, I died too many times. Now it's time for revenge.
We know him very well. We consider him a friend. Yet you, right after the game, you walk up to him and you tell him should have flashed us over.
Hey, I'm helping. I'm just helping.
I hope the world sees what a friend Deficio actually is right now.
I am just trying to give him some advice here. Tahm Kench ban, it's happening. These bans are kind of all over the place, you know. No one has actually played Tahm Kench yet. But Levi obviously played in the IWCA, where we had the 1v1s, where Turkey introduced Tahm Kench, and it destroyed some of those AD carries. So he has a lot of respect for the pick.
Yeah, the pick kind of developed for two different reasons. The voice actor that initially did the Tahm Kench sadly passed away in the Turkey region. It turns out this champion is pretty strong 1v1,
yeah.
So it's a double win, an homage, and a strong champion. But let's not focus on it too much. Bans are running through.
Yeah, funny story about the Kennen ban. You saw Mithy laugh before. His match history from the practice beforehand is like 10 Kennen games in a row. And he was like, oh, if Levi actually checks my match history, he's going to ban it, and then I'm done. It's like all he's been practicing. Caitlyn is open. Caitlyn should never be open in 1v1. She's too strong. Poke is great. Sustain is fine with Warlords. She's so difficult to play against.
Yeah, difficult to play against. It's actually really interesting with the new Caitlyn. He just locks it in. 5 seconds left. Mithy has not been watching the meta evolve. Oh. And when we see the Caitlyn locking, obviously on the screen, that can be just a Teemo fighting against it. Teemo can get outranged.
Yeah.
I think the way to go about it is you want to kind of eat trap combo, actually, to keep him out of range and then get the headshot. You can actually buffer both the Q and the trap with your E.
Right.
And then you just want to outdistance the Teemos and then disengage once you get blinded.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the ways, again, you can play around these AD carries is, again, by using the bushes on the side, the brushes on the side. So effectively, but Caitlyn is the one AD carry who can kind of counter that because she can put a trap in there and make it really hard for you. We did oversee the Teemo. Once again, was a bait. It got swapped. Last second, it's Caitlyn versus Caitlyn. Both players realized we didn't ban it. We have to pick it.
The rule of 1v1.
The rule of 1v1. And I actually like the heal from Mithy here. Because Caitlyn, like, it's not a burst champion, so the barrier won't actually get to very often, at least.
Yeah.
Unless you use it on the Q and auto attack after.
If you get a Q headshot that you can barrier, maybe it's worth it, but that means you have to be on top of, like, your stuff.
Yeah, which, I mean, normally a pro player would be.
You would expect, but then again, we've seen worse from Mithy today.
Yeah, he's the man running heal, though. He also changed it. Man, these guys are just changing all the time.
Everything.
We're actually trying to bait all of you guys, so it's not Teemo, it is Caitlyn versus Caitlyn.
It is actually
barrier versus barrier.
We might be wrong about some things about this heal that Deficio is seeing. He has been seeing some things lately.
I thought it was heal. The voices inside my head said it was heal. And then it's actually barrier right now.
So we're heading into the Howling Abyss. Who's going to take this one? Mithy or the jungler?
Ooh, I mean, so far we've seen Mithy on Zyra. That didn't go too well. So automatically you put some of the
emphasis
on Levi here, because he has played a lot of like these maps here. Because I actually talked to Clement, and in the Southeast Asian region, and especially in Vietnam, where these players are from, they actually really love 1v1s. They play them a lot. They say it's like one of the favorite game modes. I don't think the European players spend too much time 1v1ing. Good early start from Levi here, getting 2 early traps in.
So, because what this does, and a lot of people don't know, is that Mithy is now going to lose access to the wave early. Obviously, Levi will have to attack the same creep over and over. Mithy could start with Q. He has now skill trap as well, but he has lost kind of the momentum here. Let's see what he wants to do. So double trap start. Caitlyn's back in the day used to start Q for pushing. The problem is with a mana-gated map, it is not ideal to do so. Especially if the Caitlyn plays out of the wave, because you can never then get the wave and the Caitlyn at the same time.
Mithy does have a green file as gift though. If he can actually step out and just trade like one auto attack with Levi, it would be in Mithy's favor, just ever so slightly here. The game will not be decided level 1 when it's Kate versus Kate. Not exactly an all-in champion.
He started Q. Clicked on the wrong Caitlyn.
Once again, the casters are getting baited.
Yep.
Time to retire, Mitch. You
Did
and me both.
Twice. Become an observer. So Mithy looking to utilize that Q to get the push going early. Good trades in between auto attacks. That's what you always want to do. The problem is if Mithy, if he forgets about these traps being placed in the brushes next to him, he may pay the price later on. Obviously, he has a little bit of access to the wave earlier.
And notice how, again, he's just using Q on minions. Like, he knows, yes, I could try and hit the other Caitlyn, but that damage difference probably won't make that big of a difference. But getting the push advantage, especially if you can get these minions on the tower, where the tower will take some of them, you can suddenly get a bit of a CS lead.
Yeah, and he's definitely being rewarded for the push because the traps behind him are slowly fading away. Again, at least hitting 1 minion at a time. So when it does get sidestepped, just like you said, there is still value there. Pushing on.
But this is not the most exciting matchup. Like, Kate versus Kate is very much a farm fest normally, and then seeing, can I poke the guy down enough so he has to go back to base, take like a bad recall, and then maybe try some super risky trade in the end. But it's so hard for both these Caitlyns to actually like all in each other.
Yeah, that's why it's up to us right now to kind of highlight the nuances. Levi going in for an E auto attack trade right there because he knows he has to stay on the back end. That will fill up his mana again, so he may as well try for it. They never want to overcap your mana when you go for the crystals. He still has the push. Remember, Caitlyn can stack headshot much faster into brushes. That's why Mithy is always staying away from the other brush. Obviously, the fact that you can get auto attacks reset as well.
Oh, he really wants to get in there and smack him with a headshot, but Levi just staying just out of range, and we've been on this side for quite a while now.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cadence, you know. See headshot, step away from the vehicle, walk up for EQ combo. That's a good combo by Levi here. EQ into, obviously, the headshot that gets generated for free when you land that E. He takes some damage, and now the next wave comes in much sooner for the side of fire because it is near their tower, which means Levi can kind of turn the push around. If you trade long enough auto versus auto, the next wave will arrive when your initial wave isn't cleared out yet, and you will bounce the wave.
And I really like that I call it there from Levi, just saying like I can go in and actually use my full rotation, where Mithy has just been trying to poke the Qs over and over and hit like 1 or 2 only during the game. So Levi got that advantage going, and missing this one, sadly for him. Oh, this one is good though. Getting the barrier from Mithy. No mana from Levi. Now both of them will start sustaining with Warlords.
Yeah, obviously, sometimes it is good to use barrier, not in all-in, but just to make sure that you can...
Again, there is barely any all-in, you know. It really is a poke game. So yeah, if you do trade your barrier for some of his mana in some of these pokes, and maybe like 1 hit in return, good trade from Mithy there, but he's still slightly down.
And this means the first base goes to Levi, which means he can then control the next wave again with those items extra. He will likely choose the base here at the end, because otherwise if Mithy gets the bounce, the same thing will happen that we saw in the clear-off match.
It is just very hard though getting like an item advantage when it's 33 to 31 CS here. Even if he gets like 1 or 2 CS advantage, you end up just going like Doran's, and then like another potion coming in, and then you kind of go even anyway.
It honestly pays off at the end. If you get 2 of these situations where you base successfully, you'll get more items, which gives more pressure at the end if you're racing to 100 CS. Ooh. Or you can take tower shot. That also works.
Let's just say it was the disrespect tower shot. Showing Mithy, I don't need this HP. I can take a tower shot. I can still beat you.
I wonder if he should have based there. He had like 1.8k gold. Definitely went for it. Maybe he wants to base on the cannon wave.
I mean, that's the important thing here, right? You know, they've been farming for such a long time. You can actually get BF swords, or you can aim for sustain instead and get some more lifesteal and not just value the full damage.
Look how Levi's also explaining the brush here. So despite having no mana, he's getting more headshots per wave, which means he can start pushing. I don't think the tower is really the objective in this matchup.
No, definitely not. It is hoping that Mithy either misses a CS because of the tower, or Mithy's busy last hitting a CS when Levi can then hit him once or twice for free. Now he's taking a lot of minions to try and get the relic. Oh!
Down to level 6.
And no barrier.
No barrier.
Used before, Levi just with enough damage. Great understanding of how much damage he could actually deal right there.
Yeah, he stayed because he didn't want to take preferential base and go for the long game. He instead wanted to just reign dominance. He switched over just when that relic was spawning. Notice how he knows the map, because he played on the left side near the brush, generating push, generating headshots, saving his mana for poke. few auto attacks in between while Mithy was farming on a turret, and then he switched right when a relic spawned. Mithy got baited out in the open. Should have probably based there. Got the headshot. Like right here, he's taking so much damage because he knows all he needs to do is just get Mithy.
I think also Mithy didn't realize Levi just needed one melee minion for level 6. Otherwise, he would never step forward to try and take it. Like, worst case, you would have gone back to base then. But the way a lot of players look at it is like, if I'm already down in CS and I have to take a bad recall, then I've lost anyway, because he will just not fight me and just keep farming 200 CS. So Mithy probably felt like he had to try something super risky to try and keep it somewhat even, but he was just down.
Super risky. Auto-attack him?
Auto-attack him, very risky for Mithy in this one. And not been the greatest day for him so far. But Levi showing once again.
So remember, if you see Mithy, do what Deficio does and just keep asking him why he made those mistakes that he did. Why did you not flash the Orianna ulti?
I've learned that's how it works. You know,
why did you get ultied?
Part of giving, feedback is getting them to talk. Get them, ask them a question and get them to answer, and then later on you can then use that to give some feedback. So I just
taking one class on giving feedback, forgets half of it.
I just wanted to see what Mithy wanted to say. I think Levi, though, that's the man we should talk about instead. Played this map actually extremely well. We talked about this, back in the Southeast Asian regions. They really love these 1v1s so much, and he got to play last week, so he's obviously been practicing quite a lot, and I feel like this is where they can really add some value for Team Fire.
Oh, they're definitely pulling their weight here. He did get punished for the trap start, if we're being critical, but then he bounced back by beautifully just saving his full combo, EQ into headshot every time, and then the second he bounced that wave from under his turret, and Mithy kind of got baited into trading, so the wave stacked much sooner and bounced again. That's when he took the control of the matchup, got level 6 first, and honestly played it out beautifully. I was expecting him to base, but he honestly had the bigger picture in mind, which was that level 6 spike.
Okay, very interesting. Let's move on instead. Let's give it to the guys on stage.